right, y'all. It's Smiley Morning Show. Hey, it is about that time to bring on the one and only Dr. M.J. Collier. Dr. Collier, good morning.
Good morning, Rickey and Rickey Smiley Morning Show listeners. It's Friday and time for your coronavirus update. We're here to bring you the latest information, and here we go right now. Just think, it was as long ago as January 30th, at the beginning of this year, that the World Health Organization noted that there was a public health emergency. Within 6 weeks, by March 11th, they declared a pandemic here in the United States. And now worldwide, we have 3.26 million cases with 233,000 deaths. And in the U.S., we have 1,043,000 cases and 61,123 confirmed deaths. And yesterday, Rickey, New Jersey was reported to be the hot spot with the most daily deaths of any state, with 460 deaths on Thursday.
What?
So,
are you serious?
Yeah, I mean, this is growing. This continues. And, you know, I was listening to some of the pundits yesterday, and it was amazing to me, some of the things that were being said, particularly on Fox News. They were saying, why are we wearing masks and why are we not going out? And this is, you know, destroying the economy. And this is why. This is why we still need to stay home. This is why we need to stay in self-quarantine. And this is why we need to social distance. They did a CDC study in Georgia. 80% of people that were hospitalized were African-American. And even in Atlanta and Georgia, the patient population, of course, is not 80% black people. So we have they say that basically is a reflection of the large number of black people that are working on the front line. We're not talking about just healthcare workers now. We're talking about the people in the service professionals, you know, that are serving you, the truck drivers, the post office, etc.
Oh, yeah.
And that is why that was so high. So we need to celebrate all those people that are keeping the world working right now. And one other thing, the CDC reported yesterday, Rickey, that there are excess deaths in the United States. The United States has the highest death rate anywhere, not everywhere. No, I'm sorry, not anywhere, but amongst large countries that are industrialized, the United States has a higher death rate. And they said this is mostly because of the healthcare system. And remember, originally when this came out, they said if you're sick, don't go to the hospital. And then, or if you did go to the hospital, they would not test you, nor would they treat you. And so that resulted in a larger number of deaths than we should have had with this disease process. So, you know, that's just showing you where we are, in as a culture and how healthcare should change in response to how this is happening. Now, yesterday I alluded to this second shift phenomenon. This is for the ladies, Brad, Eva, and all the female listeners of the Rickey Smiley Morning Show. We know that women always work a minimum of 2 shifts, have 2 jobs. They have their primary job, and then they come home, and then they start their second job taking care of the family. So that dual burden has been markedly increased, particularly among black women, and because of the related stresses of the coronavirus and taking care of the kids, and the kids are not in school, etc. There's no daycare. There's no way to take the children, have the children taken care of other than by the primary parent, which is usually the female. So black women are already twice as likely to do housework as men. They still shoulder more than half of caregiving responsibilities. That's by anybody in the house. If they have an elderly parent in the house, then they're taking care of them, and then they're taking care of the children too. So kudos to women for stepping up, keeping us safe, taking care of the families, taking care of the children, taking care of the husbands, and keeping us straight. But we are aware of that, and we should definitely be aware of the increased stress, anxiety, and that is why I'm so glad that you have the mental health segment that talks about things that people can do. But if you got a lady in your life that's been taking care of you, you need to spoil her, and you need to take care of her, and more importantly, you need to give her a break. Step up. This is not the time to say, honey, I know you're tired and you've been taking care of the kids, but what time is dinner? You know, maybe you need to take care of dinner and help serve, because this is going to create and has created a lot of stress in the family. And, of course, there have been more incidents of abuse and domestic violence because of that stress. You know, women just, they're not putting up with a lot of stuff over time. And so that's creating domestic abuse situations. So, Rickey, that's where we are today on Friday.
Hold that thought, Dr. Collier. If anybody have any questions, you can call right now, 8669-RICKEY, 8669-RICKEY. And Dr. Collier, when we come back, just mention that new drug that they are having some success with. Talk about it. Yes. All that coming up next, and your phone calls. Rickey Smiley Morning Show. All right. right, y'all. Rick Smiley Morning Show, top of the hour, y'all. We got the one and only Dr. MJ Collier. We'll be taking your calls. Get at us 866-9-RICKEY. Dr. Collier, now, real quick before we go to calls, tell us about the new drug. They're having some breakthroughs with the drugs, and it's called
Remdesivir. Remdesivir is the correct pronunciation. It was originally created as a treatment for the Ebola virus, but it did not work that well. So they had it in storage, so to speak, and decided to bring it out and test it for the coronavirus COVID-19. It works by terminating viral replication, and that's what we were talking about yesterday. Basically, the virus will go into your cells, replicate itself, make more virus. It stops that process. And what they have found is that it will decrease the course of your disease from, say, 14 days down to 10 days, about a 30% drop. And it improves symptoms in patients that are the sickest. The problem is it's an IV drug. You get 200 milligrams IV on day 1, and then days 2 through 9, you get 100 milligrams IV. So it's a 10-day course of therapy, and then they stop it after 10 days and discharge you, basically, if you have responded to it. So, this is not a panacea. It's not a cure. It slows the process of the disease. It's best compared to Tamiflu. Tamiflu is the medication that you take when you have the flu. It decreases the course of the disease, lowers the number of symptoms. But if you don't start taking it within the first 2 days, it doesn't do you any good. You're still going to go through the same period of time with the flu. So I'm looking at the Remdesivir like that. Now, I would have expected this drug to be very, very expensive because Gilead is known for the $20,000, $30,000 6-week treatment for of a variety of things, including hepatitis C. But they are giving it away. They say they're going to give it whatever they have stockpiled now. They're going to give away at zero cost. So I have to give kudos to the company for doing so because they're making it available. They could charge for it, and they're not charging for it, so they're going to make it available. But again, it's only going to be used in people that are hospitalized and that are the sickest of the sick because it is an IV treatment. So we are. I
don't understand. They got all these have all these new developments, and 400 people died in New Jersey. And why are the death rates so high in New Jersey and New York? And they got all these breaking new developments with these drugs.
I would go with recovery plasma therapy first from a person that has had the disease and has the antibodies. That would be my first choice for an acute intervention. But I understand the death rate lags. Those are people that were, have been sick for the last 2 weeks, and now, they did not survive and they're dying off. But it's peaking in New Jersey right now. I think, it just moved from New York a little bit over to New Jersey as well. So remember, the death rate always lags behind, and that's what we're going to see for an additional 2 weeks at least. But with some of the things that are going on with the relaxation, today is the first day that all of the requirements to self-quarantine and social distance have been lifted on a national level. So now every state will have various things that they're requiring you to do or not do. And, and again, I was just shocked and awed that there was literally a debate going on yesterday on Fox News about whether to wear a mask or not. And, and is that benefiting people? And of course it is. And they ultimately came to that conclusion and say, we're not saying don't wear a mask. We're just saying that maybe you don't have to all of the time. I think they were supporting the president not wearing a mask ultimately. But Rickey Smiley Morning Show listeners, wear your mask, wear your goggle-type glasses to protect your eyes, and still social distance as best as you can, even as the economy opens up.
All right, let's go to the phones. You're on with Dr. MJ Collier. Good morning.
My question is, once you have COVID and recover, can you get it again? And will you always test positive for it?
It's thought that you do have some immunity, but the antibodies are going to last about 3 years. They're going to be effective for about 2 years. So you're still going to, after two years plus, you should be successful again unless you've taken a vaccine, which may have much longer immunity. And what they're finding, people are testing positive later, but they're testing positive to fragments of the virus and not actually infectious causing viral particles that are intact and living. It's just pieces of the virus that the antibodies are finding, and so it's testing positive to it. But it's thought that can't cause infection, so you should have protection under normal circumstances if your immune system is working appropriately.
All right, John, with Dr. MJ Collier. Good morning.
My question is, I'm quarantining at home. I'm working from home, but I tend to have a lot of, I'm nasal all the time. I'm constantly nasal, and I wondered if that's one of the symptoms for coronavirus as well.
Well, that is one of the symptoms of coronavirus, but more than likely, if you're staying at home and you're having nasal symptoms, it's probably just allergies, dust in the house, or mold in the house that's in the duct system. So you have to be conscious about that. I would take an antihistamine such as Allegra or Zyrtec or Zizal and see if that gives you some symptomatic relief. If it does not, then it would not be unreasonable to be tested because, just in a little survey in my office yesterday, I'm asking people, are you staying at home and quarantining? They all say yes, but then I say, well, have you been out for any reason? And then they give me a long list of things that they have gone out to do. So they're not quarantining as effectively as they think they are. So the potential for exposure is still there.
All right, Joe.
Yeah.
You're on with Dr. MJ Collier. Good morning.
My question is basically, what has really been done in regards to research regarding young people? I know recently they have had news come out stating that it's impacting young people in a different manner in regards to, like, stroke. So I was just wondering if that has been figured out, and if so, like, what things can be done to, kind of prevent that from happening, or is there anything to prevent that from happening in young people?
Okay, there's not a lot of research that's going on with young people right now because the young people are not having the same level of disease. There have been cases of young people that have died from the COVID, let's be clear, but the vast majority of them far exceeding middle-aged and older individuals, they don't seem to be as susceptible when they do have the disease. They either have mild symptoms or no symptoms at all. They're in a carrier state for a few weeks, and then it clears up. So when this slows down and there are other things they can concentrate on, they're going to do evaluation of young people. And that's one of the reasons they're saying that it probably will be okay to reopen schools. And a lot of the schools are now coming up with plans to do so, but it still will look a little different. They're going to try to have shifts in school, half days, morning with different groups, no eating in the cafeteria, eating in your classroom, and desks in the classroom 6 feet apart. That's some of the recommendations that have been made.
All right, y'all, Dr. Collier, let everybody know how you can be reached.
Ask, ASK, Dr. MJ, and Dr. MJ on all social media. We're going to have a lot of new videos that are going to be made this weekend. They're going to be posted on a variety of different things to get you through this, particularly since we're opening up the things now, and we're going to show you how you should protect yourself in doing so. So we have enjoyed talking to the Rickey Smiley Morning Show audience this morning. We continue to bring you the latest and the greatest information on COVID, and we make sure that it's information that's real for the listeners.